I want to introduce you to a very, very special gentleman. Again, one of the top in the world. Are you ready for Mr. Peter Droubay? Let me hear ya!
Very much. Oh, hey, there we go. Thank you very much. I am excited. How many of you are excited? What's the number one reason why businesses fail? What do you think? Yeah, the vast majority have a wonderful plan. They have decent products. They just lack the sales. They don't have people coming in. And, oh man, it tears away at me. It eats away at my gut because I see so many people, friends, relatives, and people that I meet who have wonderful hopes, ideals, dreams. How many of you have started a business and there's that giddiness when you first start? You know what I'm talking about? How many of you have felt that excitement when you're starting? It's a little bit of nervousness, but you're also terribly excited by it. And yet, I see so many people struggle with that one big issue. How do I get business through the door? How do I sell? How do I market myself? How do I get people to consistently come in, purchase my products and services, whatever they may be, so that I've got the capital to then develop this business properly? Sales is absolutely essential to your success, not just in business, but on top of that, how many of you have children? How many of you have personal relationships in which there is a little bit of influencing at times? Great, so let me ask the question again. How many of you are now, or probably should be, professional salespeople? All of you, about 50% of you are really serious. The other 50% are kind of like me. I've been this way for a lot of my life. Growing up, had this issue. I say yes, I should be, because I'm logically convinced. Sales is everything. Marketing is everything. I need to be able to bring clients through the door, correct? But there's this little whiny voice in my head. You know that whiny voice? It goes something like this, right? What was that? It's the nasal voice she was talking about, right? That little whiny voice, and what is it saying? It's saying those infamous words, but I'm just not a salesperson. Everybody repeat with me in your most nasally, whiny voice. Ready? 1, 2, 3. But I'm just not a salesperson. How many have heard that voice before? Oh, yes. So he said there's one condition, and that is you've got to change your thinking. Because right now the way you're thinking, I can't help you. I said, anything at this point. He said, great, there's a little tiny formula that you've probably seen a million times. You've probably seen it before, you've probably used it before, but the challenge is right now you're not focusing on it, you're not getting the implications of it, and that's why you're broke. I said, great, what's the formula? He said the formula is E, the letter E, times E times E equals R. The letter E times the letter E equals the letter R. He said, here's what it stands for. In any endeavor in life, your effort at it times your effectiveness equals the results you get. He said the bottom line is right now you're broke because you don't get this formula. I need you to get this formula or I can't work with you. Now, quite honestly, I looked at the formula and I thought, that's a wonderful formula. Got it. When do we start? And I said so. I said, okay, well, that's a great formula. I think I got it. When can we start? And he said, no, you don't get it yet. I want you to really think about it. And I said, well, what's not to get? It's a basic formula, right? I mean, it's a basic sales formula. If your effort is you work 20 days and your effectiveness is you open up 1 new account per day, then your results are 20 new accounts. I get that. If you make 100 calls, you have a 10% ratio of reaching people, you reach 10 people. It's a basic sales formula, and I love it, and I've been working on that for quite a while, and, so I'm ready to start. He said, no, you're not ready to start. I said, well, help me out. What am I missing? He said, you're missing the implications, and your actions do not tell me that you really understand the implications. Here's what I mean by that. He said there's 2 factors that influence your results. Of the 2 factors, effort and effectiveness, most people, when they want to influence results, especially in a sales environment, they really only work on one of the 2 factors. Which of the 2 do they work on? Yeah, let's do more. Now, I've been to 100 time management seminars. I'm a time management junkie. And 99% of them, it's all about how do we do more? How do we fit more in the day? Right? How do we get more done? And gosh, there's some great techniques for getting more done. But you know what he told me years ago? He said, the challenge is if you focus on the effort side alone, you're never going to make money. Because of the two ways of increasing your income, of increasing your results in anything, effort and effectiveness, only one of the two is limited. And it happens to be the effort side. He said, think about it. Sooner or later, there's no more effort you're going to be able to give. You're probably at that limit right now. How many of you in this room feel like you already work pretty hard? Great. How many of you would like to double your income next year? Let me see a big show of hands. Great. How many of you are willing to double the amount of time you work next year? I didn't think so. I'm impressed there's a few hands. Okay? Somebody in the front row says, well, 2 times 0 is 0. I'd do that. Okay. He said, if you focus on the effort, you're not going to make it. He said, the bottom line is you've got to focus on the effectiveness. And right now, I don't see you doing that. He said in the last 30 days, for instance, how many books, tapes, courses, stuff have you done that you can learn from in order to increase your business? And guess what I said? None. I said, I don't have I had my big excuses, right? What are the big excuses? I don't have the time to do that. Those courses you want me to go to? There's no time to do that. I'm working my tail off. And then the big one is what? Money. Oh, man. I don't have the money. Are you kidding? I can barely survive. And you want me to pay for books and courses and stuff like that? He said, well, in the last 6 months, how many people that are doing better than you are have you gone and talked to face to face? How many people have you shadowed? How many people have you taken lunch? Have you interviewed? Have you just gone and sat in their office? He said, my office is right upstairs. Why am I stopping you in the hallway? And he was right. I hadn't done any of that. He said, that's got to change. I'm not willing to work with you until you take a stance on being more effective. Because my role isn't to make you do more, and I'll echo that today. My goal in being here is not to motivate you so much that, we fit 10 times more into the day and we do more sales calls, although I hope that you're excited enough to get out and try some of the principles and really apply yourself and that more gets done. But my role is to share with you a few ideas that can make you more effective in your sales endeavors. You don't get clients just through osmosis. There is a lie that is told. There's multiple lies that are told. One of those lies is what I call the field of dreams lie. What's the field of dreams lie? If you build it, they will come. Oh, the number of businesses that have gone down the drain based on that lie. Now, I love the movie, don't get me wrong. It was inspirational, it was metaphysical, it was spiritual, it was whatever you want to put on it. But as far as business is concerned, it's a lie. We're going to use the other lies. Right? What are some of the other lies? The product sells itself. How many have heard that one? Oh, the product sells itself. If you build it, they will. Marketing is nothing more than good salesmanship through the medium through which you are marketing. In other words, if you want to write a great is that most people, when they begin selling, they don't start with a statement of benefit to the client, do they? How many of you get telemarketing calls at home? How many of you are annoyed by most of the telemarketers? Great. The reason is that most of them do not talk about you whatsoever. Okay? They say, hi, my name is such and such. That's my name. Okay? And we do blank. That's them. And we have this campaign going on right now. And we do this, and we're in the area doing that, and we'd like to do that, and we'd like to accomplish that, and we'd like to do this. It's nothing about you. Now, unfortunately, most of the traditional sales training, the kind of sales training that, we got during the 70s and 80s, that there's this mantra that was put out there about feature, benefit, close, how you explain a fact or feature about what you do, you explain the benefits to the client, and then you ask some sort of question that would lead people to say yes. Feature, benefit, close. Unfortunately, in studying the best salespeople in the world, this is not how they approach it, especially not in our economy these days. You must start with the benefit up front in the form of a proposition and then back it up with a fact. All right, so first of all, what does it say? It said it is no longer good enough to simply be a decent salesperson, and marketing alone will not get you where you want to be these days. A fusion of great sales principles, effective marketing techniques, and proven business management skills is required, because it's a fusion, to influence and persuade in today's economy. There are 5 keys. I say 5 keys because while it helps to do these in order, they don't have to be done in order. If you get good at any one of these keys, you're going to experience an increase of business in today's economy. What would prevent you from using this consistently? Practice is number one. There's two reasons. One is practice, and the other one is just downright fear. Right? We get afraid that if we use this, somebody might say what? Well, we're afraid of two things. They might say yes, although we're not terribly afraid of that, although there's a little cringe. But what's the big fear? How many would like to get to a point where that word does not affect you at all? How many would like to be in that position? Great. So we play this little game. We do a couple-day training event, seminar. We play this little game. It's a advanced learning, quick learning process of simply eliminating old conditioning and creating new conditioning, and we do it around this word no, that we've been hearing all our life, and we kind of cringe. How many would like to make it so that that word doesn't even, it doesn't create any sort of tension? In fact, you even smile and laugh. How many would like to be in that position? I have a client who did this for a couple days with us, and she called me up, it was about a week later. She called me up and she said, I just had the weirdest experience. And I said, what's that? She said, you know that conditioning that we did with the word no? I said, yeah. Well, I went in to visit this guy, and we've been trying to get this account for quite a while. And he's a real, mucky-muck, it's tough to get through to him, and he doesn't like talking to people. He's very staunch and stern. And I went in to visit him. We've been working on this deal for about 6 months. And the first thing he said to me when I walked in is he said, you know what? I hate to break this to you, and I like cutting right to the chase, so I'm going to have to tell you that our answer here is no. And she said, after spending those couple days with you and just completely reframing that in my mind, I literally started giggling. I couldn't help myself, but I had this huge smile, and I started sort of giggling, and I caught myself, but he looked at me like, wasn't the response. He said, what are you laughing at? And she said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. It just makes no sense for you to say that. It's funny to me. And he said, why do you think it doesn't make sense? And she said, because of this, this, and that. And what she said to me on the phone is, you know what? He signed the contract a half an hour later. So how many would like to be in that position? Great. So here's what it requires. Here's what it requires. It requires a little playfulness. And it requires that we literally rewire the way that our brain is set up. We've been used to hearing that word and cringing, feeling defeated. Now, is that a natural thing? Were we born with that? How many of you have children and you know that they were not born with that aversion? How many of you have children that will fight through 100 no's and they don't seem to be fazed by it? So we weren't born with it. We learned it along the way. So we can relearn it. So here's what we're going to do. When I say that word, I want you to play a little game with yourself, and I'm showing you this so that you can play this on your own. You can literally start rewiring this on your own. When I say that word, I want you to go nuts, to go crazy. I mean jump up, dance, scream, yell, jump around, hoot and holler, whatever you want to do. Shake your booty, I don't care what it is. Okay? I want you to go nuts for just about 30 seconds, and then we'll wrap it up by just going, whoa, yes. Give it a good strong yes, and we'll sit back down. Maybe we'll do it again after that, I don't know. You guys ready? Yeah. Okay, so hang out in your seats. No, hang out in your seats. We got to start from a real life situation. We're hanging out here. We're involved with our clients. We're out there talking about this product that we have, and somebody says to us, no. No! 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 Woo! No! No! I don't like you! No! 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 All right, here we go. Whoa! Yeah. He literally said 100 of those things, and I've got it made. I said, so how do you feel when somebody says that? He says, I feel great. I look forward to it. And he's wildly successful. What would happen if that was the dominant thought in your head? That was the dominant conditioning. Every time that word came up, you immediately got this jolt of energy, this smile that steals across your face, and this thought in your head that says, it's time to play. right?
He not only has great tools and resources that will benefit you and your industry, but he's also the best, in my opinion, the best facilitator and public presenter I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of folks do presentations.